Well, good morning. You're watching Morning at NTV. On this wonderful Friday, we decided to talk about earning from your talent, whether it's actually possible in this country for you to say, this is my talent. If I nurture it, if I work on it, if I put in some effort, I can surely earn from it. Of course, we're saying that over time, our parents have not agreed with that. They've said, go to school, get an education in something that in the marketplace can actually give you some money. So where, earlier on we were talking to Fefe Busi as, of course, our man on the ground, Andrew Chamago. We'll be coming back to that. But in studios, I'm joined by an actress, and she'll be giving us the rest of the long list of things she does. Stella Nantumbwe, better known as Ella. So does anyone still call you Stella Nantumbwe?
Very few people. The people who knew me before, yeah.
So you're now known as Ella.
Mostly Ella, yeah.
Yes. So we'll also talk about the value of keeping a stage name and and staying there and not changing your mind.
Yeah.
So you, before we knew the great actress that you were,
yes,
went to Miss Uganda.
Yeah.
I almost skipped that.
Yes.
Yes. And years ago, I met Stella Nantumbwe.
Yes.
I didn't meet Ella. And she had just become Miss Uganda.
Yeah.
And she was supposed to say hi to me because then the Miss Uganda patron, Brenda Nanyonjo, had her around. And she was singing. I said, oh, who's that doing that? And I said, that's a brilliant voice. I know she's Miss Uganda. She's supposed to stay on for a year and do charity work. But I told Brenda, perhaps she should really do something to make sure that talent doesn't go to waste. Yeah. Fast forward to today, she has not released a hit song, which means she let her talent go to waste. Or you chose a different path. Let's start with, what talents do you have?
Well, I'd say I have a talent in art. I can draw.
Oh, wow.
Currently, I found out I can also do clothes as well. I
That's
sing.
What, tailoring, design?
Yes.
Design.
Not yet tailoring, because I need a bit of training for that.
Yeah.
I can do makeup. I don't exactly dance very well, so that's out.
Okay.
One thing I'm bad at. I do everything.
You can sing and
I can
you're
sing,
an
I
actress.
can act, I can do makeup,
So on a set,
everything.
You don't really need anyone?
No.
Apart from the director?
Apart from the director. And I'm actually getting into that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from Miss Uganda, originally when you joined Miss Uganda, did you actually have an interest? Because I never really know if Miss Uganda is a pattern for modeling or for, what is the goal?
Well, the goal is mainly charity,
okay.
But alongside with that, you're supposed to build yourself.
Yeah.
When they give you the platform, what will you do? I've always loved music and dance and drama and being in the limelight, basically, since I was a little girl. So I worked for that. I worked hard at that. I did pageants before Miss Uganda. I won a few, lost a few. And what Miss Uganda did is it propelled me. I was able to now expose myself a bit more. Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned something to do with, I worked at it.
Yeah.
You said, I want to be out there. I don't know how I will be known, but I will try everything and anything.
Yeah.
And it actually helps me, and maybe ask the question that because we're telling parents to nurture the talent, but what about the people themselves? And it's always hard for someone to figure out if they have a talent or not, because my neighbor's talent will be my talent. Maybe my best friend's talent ends up being my talent. But we're joined by a producer. I know him for his great voice, but I think he's so far moved away from that. Joining us is Benon Mugumbia from Swangs Avenue. Benon, I have Stella Nantumbwe. She says now she's Ella.
Hey.
Hi. How are you?
Flavia, first of all, Flavia, why do you decide to interview me miles away from Ella?
That's life. But she says that for her, she'd always known that whatever talent it is I'm going to use, I will be known, I will be seen. Was that a bit different for you?
Sorry?
Stella was telling us that for her, she always knew that she would use her talents to be seen. Whatever talent it ends up being, or singing, or dancing, or acting, but she will be out there somehow. What about you and, people you've actually worked with? Do people shy away from their talents? Do people don't even nurture their talents?
Yeah, Chitufu, it's, first of all, growing up in our era, it was very difficult to know that, hey, I can do this, because your parents want you to be a doctor, a lawyer, the normal conventional things. So the things that we are doing now, back then felt, it made you feel like an outcast. Oli mudongo, oli muyayi, oli chi. So it didn't really help okuchiyingiramu naturally. So we just started out as enjoying ourselves, following our passion, and thank God it turned out the way it has right now.
Yeah, but you say back in the day, are you trying to say that today more parents actually helping their children find their talent and nurture it?
Yes, yes. I mean, parents bring their kids here at Swangs and hey, I have my boy here. Like for example, about 5 years ago, the kid we worked with called Young Z, the dad brought him here, and he was like, hey, I think my boy has what it takes, but you know, I want you to have the final say. Yeah. Tell me what you think. Man, we auditioned the boy, and he was really, really good and talented. So parents nowadays, but take some time.
Yeah, I like that you actually work with a lot of talents, and of course for some don't even know, you also do voice or ad production, which means you work with voice talents as well. But just help me understand, do Ugandans know that you can do so many things, but one might not be the talent you'll eventually earn from? Can they tell that difference? I'm a singer, I'm an actress, I'm this and this, but eventually only one talent might be my best. Can people tell the difference?
Some do, some don't. And then some, they understand the fact that, okay, my talent can get me somewhere, can be a stepping stone to catapult me to make me earn from something that might even be very different. I don't know if I'm making sense. Like, for example, right now, yes, I used to sing, I can sing, but I don't really make money off performing on stage because I was a singer or anything like that. But, you know, I use that knowledge and a bit of what I know to train other people and maybe that I so I don't
so are we saying that, you know, because today we're asking if you can earn from your talent. So Benon, you're saying you can't actually earn from your talent.
Yes, you can. It's you can earn from your talent.
But from what I hear you saying, Benon,
you can. Sorry?
What I hear you saying is that your talent can be there, but if you want to earn, you use your talent to do other things that can give you money. So it's impossible for you to actually earn from your talent.
The way it is, talent alone is not enough.
Okay.
But it can be used to catapult you
to the next phase
into, you know, earning. Like I'll give you an example. There are a lot of very, very talented singers. When they sing,
the world,
everyone in the room they'll freeze. Actually, for me, I've met a lot of great singers. However, it's unfortunate that they don't make as much money as the people we
some of the less
the
talented.
I'm not saying the mainstream people are not talented. However, I've seen.
I think someone here said the noisemakers. Go on. Someone has said the noisemakers.
I hope I don't. I don't want to.
It's okay, Benon. You were saying.
Cause any problems.
No, we're not saying noisemakers, but perhaps Benon, before I let you go.
Problems of live TV.
Yeah, you also are, you know, part owner of a label, and I want to ask, in terms of training talent and people who come to you, or even the ones who are already established, they still need help because some of them don't know how to read through contracts and sign them. Some of them don't know what it means if you're part of a label, you know, contractual agreements. Do we need more training schools? Do we need more travel agents? What exactly is lacking in the sphere of training artists or talents to just know what to do?
Exposure. We, of course, as Swangs, we do our best to educate what it takes for somebody to become a successful artist. You can be a great singer or a great musician, but it does not necessarily mean that you'll be a successful artist. I've seen people like Shiba I think Sheba is her work ethics are way up there. So yes, she knows she can sing, she can dance, she has the energy, but still that's not enough. She'll give you 110% in a music video performance on stage. She's dedicated. So we try and educate the people we work with, or even some of the artists that I interact with, that hey, just your talent alone is not enough. You have to be committed to what you're doing. Wake up early. People don't want to wake up early. Keep time.
Yes.
You can get a lot of things done when you wake up early.
Yes.
Yes, thank you so much, Ben, and we're going to have to let you go there because you just,
hi, Ella.
As I said, touched on a spot there. So thank you so much, Benin. So,
Flavia, I'm not listening to you. Bye, Ella.
Bye. So, he said a couple of things, but I'm intrigued to know because I think I started out with a talent, and then eventually I worked to put some structure to it and decide what it is. But I think many people don't define what talent they have. Because once you realize that when you go, because now you're earning from corporate companies, it's no longer just an individual paying you to do one thing or the other. Now corporate companies need to account for why they're paying Ella. They need to define what Ella does. Who helped you, or how did you eventually figure out how to define what you do?
I won't say I've done it alone. I've learned from people like you. I love to emulate, so I'll watch people and see how they do it. I read a lot. I do a lot of research on different people that inspire me. I have a mother who's hardworking. She's built her own thing. That also helps. And just the day-to-day, the people who believe in you. When I'm on a movie set, it's the director, it's the makeup artist, it's the sound guy. I want to learn from everybody. And with that, I'm then able to identify that this is what I'm good at, this I can do, this I can learn, that's something else I can touch. And also within me, I've managed to know that some things I'm not. So I won't go pretend that I'm,
You're very good at something,
yes. So maybe that's the reason I haven't put up my song.
Because you're good at singing,
I'm good at singing, but I'm like, let me not, I need it to be done right. I have to do my voice training and make sure that I can get it right. I'm very shy. People don't know that about me, but I love to make sure that everything is done right. I don't do mediocre. So I study, I research, I ask. I love to learn.
But Ella, when you say that it's not easy and you study, research, you do all these things, you can be such a great talent doing whatever. Maybe you can jump through hoops and that's your thing. But you find that the environment you're working in perhaps doesn't meet you there.
Very
you are
true.
standard 5 and they're standard 2. Can you describe perhaps, because you have many talents, what kind of environment we have in Uganda? Does it foster or nurture talent? Are they against talent?
Sometimes. For a minute there when I was doing Miss Uganda, my mother was like, they'll break your heart, don't do it.
Yes.
I was like, Mommy, I still need to try. And I was in a good environment there. You're able to learn, you're able to be around people, but also have been exposed. I've traveled a bit and that has helped me. But in Uganda, sometimes you're going to be met by people who just want to produce things or do things that are still at a level that I feel we've left already, but they're still stuck in the past. We don't exactly have laws that protect art or sometimes the talent itself. So sometimes parents or people who are supposed to help you also don't believe that you're protected enough to go where you're supposed to go. So they'll end up just telling you, just do that as a hobby or something you post on Facebook once in a while. But if you're in the right environment, then you can grow. I mean, that's the only way I found that I could maybe do directing and I could do like special effects makeup, all these things I've managed to teach myself and just propel myself. The acting I never even knew I could do for the longest time, but yeah.
So our big question here is whether you can earn from your talent. Now we're not saying singing talent or acting, every talent. I found that over the years, and I'll just share from my own perspective, that I see that a lot of people, especially with rate cards, how much are you getting paid and why you're getting paid. There's a standard that used to be there that they'd pay people for certain talents a certain way, whether you're an MC, whether you're a musician, they'll just pay you a certain amount of money. Until certain people started to define themselves differently and started getting paid different money. But if you are supposedly at the same level as Ella, and Ella can take 200,000 and you can take 2 million, they'll say, but we'll just pay Ella 200,000. Why are we? So do you find it hard, one, to rate yourself in this country, and also just to answer that question, is it possible to earn from your talent alone? And then perhaps you can break down how it's possible.
Okay. With the rating, yes, that's always been an issue. But at the same time, when you've built a brand, your brand should speak for you. So if you're going to tell me I can be paid the same as somebody else, you need to show me their numbers, or show me what they've done, or show me their reach. Show me something where I feel like we can level up at some point. And also the industry doesn't have a standard. You sort of need to fight for yourself. As far as management goes, I had to find a better manager to help me set those kinds of boundaries. Do we have
real talent managers in this country?
Very few.
Okay.
I'm just asking. I don't even know. So mine are not from here. That's how I think I'm surviving. And that helps a lot. But as far as earning from your talent, yes, you can. But
your talent alone?
Your talent alone, you can. You can. I mean, you're good at what you do, and you earn.
I do like 10 jobs, so I don't know if I'm a good poster child for earning from your talent.
But I do 10 jobs, and what the talents have done for me is put me at a place where I can now earn from them and then take on other things to supplement them and make them bigger. Okay. In a way.
You say you do many things. So is there power in, having, being a triple threat or whatever threat?
Definitely be a triple threat every day, because this industry is one of those things. It's like Uganda is one of those places. Every day someone else is cropping up. Somebody else is doing what you're doing, and somebody else thinks they can do what you do. Sometimes people want to underlook you and put a spotlight on something else. And so if you're good at other things, then you show them, hey, look, I can do this too, I can do that too. And sometimes bringing somebody like that into a space is very helpful, and it just puts you in a good place for growth.
It's sad that when we say talent in this country, people only look at music.
Yes.
But there's a lot more.
There's so many things.
There's so many things. I want to ask about women versus men.
Yes.
Girls versus boys when it comes to the nurturing of talent in this country. Is it harder for girls than it is for guys? Do you find that, because I ask this question in many ways. I ask this question in terms of, we have a hashtag #MeToo all over the world, where they're saying that regardless of your talent, you'll be underlooked, or there'll be favors that are asked in a certain way because you're a female. And also the fact of especially payments, where they think a man should get paid more for the same job Ella is going to do.
Understand that.
Yes. Tell me.
Me too. I'm joking. Yeah. So that is a factor here. It does come up. It does. And it's one of those things where you're sitting back and wondering, we're both doing this thing, so why are you earning more than me? Sometimes it's a matter of age. Sometimes it's a matter of numbers. Sometimes it's how long you've been in a place, experience and whatnot, which I understand entirely. But it's one of those things where I feel like it sets us back, and it doesn't exactly help us propel. I was hearing something on the radio where they said women in Uganda still, currently 41% of them are underpaid. Paid significantly less than men. So it's something we have to work at. But as far as girls and boys go, it's easier for a boy to say, Dad, Mom, I want to play football, and they'll take her there. But if a little girl comes to her mommy and says, Mom and Dad, I want to be in a pageant, it's going to be like a whole family meeting.
You want to model.
How?
Yes.
But in some ways, it's almost the same thing, because it's different. You're both
let me ask you, Ella,
be
are our parents so wrong? Do they have it so wrong? Or is it true that there's a big part of talent, and I say talent because in Uganda, as you said, you have to do more than one thing. So you find the actress is on going for Miss Uganda, is the one when Big Brother auditions comes on. So they're doing everything. But are there parts of this industry that should scare the parents?
Yes.
Be honest.
Like you said, talent managers, are they there? The real ones, you know what I mean? Not the ones who are going to take corners. I think it's the lack of structure. We don't have a structure where the parents feel safe. There's nobody that's going to hold anybody accountable for what happens to you while you're in this space with them. Say you want to sing, you want to dance, you want to act, you want to maybe take on art or something else. Anything.
Is that someone to train you or someone to guide you?
Someone to train and guide you. There's usually no way you can actually quantify what you're doing until you then force yourself to, you push yourself or they give you a push. And half the time when they give you a push and they believe in you, I mean, look at Davido, his dad didn't believe in him, but now look at...
being taken advantage of, that exists.
Oh, yes, a lot, yes.
Taking advantage of financially?
Both. Especially financially. I've been on, like, in places where it's a shock what people are being paid for the amount of work they have to do, but it's like, you either do it or you don't, you know. We can find someone else, that kind of attitude.
So why does the other someone else do it?
Desperation.
They're desperate.
Sometimes you're like, you know what, everybody has earned their stripes and this is the only way I earn my stripes. So then you're willing to compromise yourself to a level. But every time someone does that here or anywhere else in the world, they make it worse for the rest of us. We can't grow. Until people broke the barriers of how much, say, MCs were paid or actresses or etc. People still believe they could pay you like 20,000 for a whole day, sit there and shoot
20,000 shillings
and just say we're giving you food and transport. Is that a thing? You know, until people broke the barrier and said, no, if you want me to be in this production or do this with you or do that with you, then this is what I think I should be earning. And for some reason people now find the money somehow.
When I was talking about film, someone here said that, you know what, the way we dress as women sometimes doesn't help. It doesn't justify how one then treats you, but she said perhaps it doesn't help how people perceive us.
Yes.
You see, do you see that? Because even when we're speaking about music itself, they've come down hard on women and how certain musicians dress, and said that you can't expect me to then sit in the same boardroom meeting with you when you're...
And that's why we're still where we are.
But then they said also that as a talent, whilst you're doing your work, should you be exempted on the way you carry yourself, the way you dress?